It is useful for describing the relationship between mindfulness interventions and students' outcomes using the self-determination theory according to SDT proposed by Deci and Ryan. There are three inherent psychological needs that underlie human motivation and behavior. These are self-determination skills or competence, and connection or relatedness. When applied to understanding of mindfulness interventions in education, SDT demonstrates that the latter meet these basic needs and consequently, enhance well-being and achievement of learners.
The literature review will focus on the efficacy of mindfulness interventions in students and their effects on the emotional health and performance of students where such interventions have been implemented. It will look at the ways in which mindfulness enhances students' self-control, conduct within the classroom, and learning capacity, thus helping to create a better teaching and learning environment and its impact on academic performance. The review will also look at the barriers to adopting mindfulness in classrooms among teachers, including time constraints, students' diversity, among others, and lack of enough training and resources among teachers.
Colorblindness is a term that downplays discrimination as a problem due to economic status, which fails to recognize the presence of systematic and institutional race discrimination. Whenever race issues are brought up, instructors often adopt a colorblind stance, refusing to see the different distinctions between their non-white pupils. Additionally, colorblind dogma, which perceives any race-related discussion as racist, is currently on the rise, especially in a post-racial era.
Educators' unconscious prejudices often serve as fuel for their judgments of pupils. Implicit prejudice is defined as unintentional connections with non-white individuals. It involves instructors' perceptions of pupils' ability, their appraisal of individual worth, and their assessment of personal authenticity. This one is crucial for anti-racist teaching, yet it is frequently ignored.
It is sometimes called Highland Spanish since it is generally spoken in the mountainous areas of Latin America. While each country retains its own accents and has some unique vocabulary, residents of countries such as Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia generally speak Latin American Spanish, especially in urban centers. This dialect is noted for its pronunciation of each letter and its strong R sounds. This Spanish was spoken in Spain in the 16th and 17th centuries and was brought to the Americas by the early colonists. However, the Spanish of Madrid and of northern Spain, called Castilian, developed characteristics that never reached the New World. From these sources I will argue that, living history, performances require an interpretive apparatus that takes genuine history as its authority, while remaining external to both participants and tourists, who may well be unaware of how closely their own involvement approximates genuine historical events. I will show how theoretical issues of authenticity arise as practical problems in the Civil War reenactment community by presenting my own observations from the 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and by relying on a number of texts produced by participant observers. An exotic type of diamond may have come to Earth from outer space. Scientists say that called carbonado or black diamonds, the mysterious stones are found in Brazil and the Central African Republic. They are unusual for being the color of charcoal and full of frothy bubbles. This does not necessarily mean the lessons were wasted. Millions of Spanish speakers use neither standard Latin American Spanish nor Castilian, which predominates in US schools. The confusion is partly political. The Spanish-speaking world is very diverse. Spanish is the language of 19 separate countries and Puerto Rico. This means that there is no one standard dialect. The most common Spanish dialect taught in the US is Standard Latin American.